Alright, in this video, I'm going to break down the significance of modalities and how they modify the kind of element that you are. So if you're a fire sign, what it means, the difference between being a cardinal fire sign, a fixed fire sign, and a mutable fire sign. Cardinal would be Aries, fixed would be Leo, and mutable would be Sagittarius for fire signs. But it'll also shed some light on the significance of three and why three is such a significant number, because those are the stages, or you can say like levels, like look at it as matter uh, um, having three transformations, being able to take three transformations, and maxes out as Super Saiyan 3. That's as much as it could go, but it has the different Super Saiyans do different shit, different transformations. It takes different forms within, or has different power levels or different powers. Not necessarily saying any is greater than the other, but just that they transform or that they're different, which will show you why three is held up there. So you have cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Cardinal, this is initiating, uh, um, sparking situations. This is action. Things being taken place. The catalyst, getting things started. Getting things starting to move. Fixed is being fixated on certain things. It's about stability and holding something and surety. Really um, focusing on one particular thing, bringing it down into density. That's fixed. And then you would have mutable, which is more going with the flow, more adapted, more fluid, more adaptable and versatile. It can move in different ways. It doesn't have to be in one way. And take in how this also resembles solid, liquid, and gas, where um, even just the word gas, you would always think gas, you pump cars and stuff like that, and that it's flammable because it's the spark. It starts things. When we play with gases and chemicals and stuff like that, they cause reactions and stuff like that. They're the essence. They're not really there, or like you might not be able to see like that, but reactions are happening. They all that sounds like the essence. It's something that's not necessarily in density for you to see, although we can record results and see reactions, but it's less viewable. It's more like it's in the micro realm, but to our perspective it's like in a realm that can't be seen. So it's more of like the essence, or resembles the essence of something. That's cardinal. And then um, solid would resemble fixed, being fixated. Those are atoms being fixated in one spot long enough for it to come down into density, and for it to be present as this one thing. For it to vibrate in a way for it to bring out this one solid object that you can touch and feel and move around. Something that's there, something that's can't be moved. And then fluid, mutable. So these are the forms that elements take and bend, and this is like the basis of a story. You start, there's like a trigger, and then things build up and get to a crucial point where things are at their highest, when things are at their tensest, when things is the most dense, things are most serious, and then you kind of release, and then you kind of go with the flow, or whatever came out of all of that tension. You have to roll with it. You have to adapt with it. This is just how the nature of how things go, and why things go within that nature. That's because of the three forms that elements can take in, and then us being here as humans being a mixture of all of these elements, and then us being mixtures of all of these elements, mingling and interacting with other mixtures of these elements. Obviously, these things are what's coming out, or these are the three things that we're gonna to see. So understanding them, gives us this broad perspective on everything, let alone astrology. But it does help understand astrology. So let me kick it with the fucking elements to show you how they adapt with the elements, because Earth changes whether it's cardinal, fixed, and mutable. You'll be think just being an earth sign, you'll be able to rump with all other earth signs, or that you'll be compatible because both of you guys are earth, but that's not necessarily the case. It depends what type of earth you guys are on. The way you guys move, it may be in a similar way, maybe similar topic, or similar ballpark, but it's a completely different way. And you might even dislike a person more, that's like that, because they are in your playing field, but they're just not doing things the way you're doing it. That might rub you the wrong way, same way someone who's doing something completely that you disagree with. So it all depends. So let's start with cardinal earth. Uh, I guess we could start there. Can't really do it in order. It doesn't work like that, but yeah, just fuck it. Cardinal Earth, which would be Capricorn. So cardinal Earth. This is initiating, starting, at being action based. The catalyst, getting things started. So this is in Capricorn, and it being in Earth. This is practical. This is practicality. This is analyzing. These are real day-to-day things. These are things that are material, things that are tangible. So it initiates uh, um, stuff, or situations, or is very action based around gaining material things. But then it's also cardinal, so it's more of the essence of creating material things. This is how you get status tagged onto to Capricorns, or why they would always look at status, because it's the person who has the highest status is who you think has the most stuff, or who you think has the most potential, or is the most likable, or able to communicate with the most people, so they're able to have the most stuff, that they have that potential. It's about the potential. It's about the blueprint of having things. And you would can understand that through cardinal earth, being cardinal, being sparking, being the essence, and then earth being practicality, and common sense, and things that are tangible, things that are real. It's initiating things that are being real. So this is creating plans. This is creating plans and getting things in motion, and making this is playing chess. Moving pieces around and stuff like that. And then you go into um, Taurus, fixed earth. Now, it being fixed or earth, Taurus is more about stability. It's more about already having the material. It's already about already having the it's already about having the things that are tangible. And say like in relationships, you may have a Taurus that's very, resistance, or reserved, until you start showing your colors, until you start showing love first, and then they'll open their heart and show you the world. With it being, because it needs the stability, it needs to know the return, the investment. It has to be there in a dense form, or in a concentrated thing, for them to see, for them to be comfortable, because it's fixed earth. They need that fixed, it being concentrated, it being stable, it being in one place, and then it being earth, being practical, and physicality. This is the tree, where as cardinal was the essence, the blueprints. Um, the cardinal would be like the seed being planted. Taurus would be the tree growing out of the tree growing out of the ground, or a tree sprouting out of the seed. And then you would have mutable earth, which would be, what is that, Virgo, which is analyzing after the fact, or now that the tree's there. It's more about how that tree interacts with its environment, so you can really understand what the tree is. Now the tree's there. You have the tree, you can rely on the tree's there. But now you're looking at how the tree reacts, how the grass and how the animals and everything else reacts. And then by the way the tree reacts with all the surroundings around it, you understand more about the tree itself, as how it relates to other things, as opposed when it was just itself, when it was on its dolo, just a little seed in the ground, just praying for some water, just praying for some growth. Now it's interacting with things. Now it's spreading out its wings and shit like that. But it's still in a practical manner. It's seeing how it's affecting things on its day to day, how it does that, how everything around it reacts. That's mutable earth. And this is Virgos. This is what makes Virgos, cynical, very and worrisome, because they know what's going to happen, or they can see the bad situations that's going to happen. That's how it changes. So water, cardinal on water. You have Cancers. They cardinal, initiating, sparking. The essence of things. Water, it being relating and emotions and stuff like that, and imaginations. So this is sparking a lot of imaginations. This is where you get the 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 saying of Cancers being sensitive, but it's not really even being sensitive, because all of the Cancers I know, or a lot of Cancers you meet, would be like comedians. Like, it'd be hard for them to take shit seriously sometimes, or they be, well, there's a lot that be caring too much about shit too. Don't get it twisted. But there's a lot that just fuck around all the time. There's a lot of, but because you would say sensitive, but water, it being emotion and imagination, there's not one emotion. Just because somebody's emotional doesn't mean they're always going to be sad. It's going to be a whole bunch of emotions. So they're going to be jumping into a whole bunch of bags, a whole bunch of emotions, and a whole bunch of imaginations for them to jump into. So I guess this would be like how would you describe Cancer? I guess like the rapid wave, the wave that come and hits you and lets you know you're wet. Like, say you're standing at the shore of a beach, and you're just letting the water come and touch your feet, and a big old wave comes in, just knocks you on your ass, or some shit like that. That's kind of what Cardinal comes like, like a wave, a sudden wave of emotion and stuff like that you can ride off of. And yeah, cardinal water, it be initiating, the essence of emotion, and then you would have fixed water, which would be Scorpio. And fixed water, fixed being concentrated and all in one spot, and water being imaginations, memory, and emotions and stuff like that. This should show you why, and where you would get how Scorpios can hold grudges and shit like that, and how Scorpios can be dark because they hold on to and really dwell on their emotions and their and how they relate and interact with other people and their imaginations. They really live in that world. They're fixated on it. This is how you get them getting too deep into the water. Getting a little too lost and shit like that, or how they can delve into the bag of mysticism a lot, or how they would find all of that stuff, or all of that emo culture and shit like that. Getting fixated onto emotions, that's how that would come about. And then mutable water, Pisces, being able the Pisces is like the believing, and well, mutable, it being mutable would be adapting and versatility, and flexibility, and it being water is relating to things. So it's very easy to relate, and it's very easy to attach to imaginations, or to dive into imaginations and emotions. It's very susceptible to that. You can pick up on other people's emotions and stuff like that, and either if they're stable, run with it, or let it sweep them under and stuff like that. Mutable water, you know, this is how it changes throughout the signs. Now, fire sign, um, cardinal fire, which would be Aries. So air, this is sparking, initiating, it being cardinal, initiating the essence, and it being fire. These are fires like feeling and imagination. Whereas because you have passive elements, and you have um, like active elements. The active elements would be uh, air and fire, and the passive ones would be earth and water. That being said, you also have elements that fall more on to the right brain of things, but this is how the polarities even out. You have in right brain and left brain elements. Right brain, which would be intuitive and creative and stuff like that, and all the things that that are less explainable, less logic based, will fall into your right, and that's fire and water. These are your emotions, your feelings, your desires, your passions. These aren't things that are in density. Air and earth, all things are practical, things that you do with your body, things that are tangible. Earth, and what you communicate, and the ideas that you have based on what you see. Air, these are all analytical, left brain type stuff. So, and I'm saying this or explaining that so you can um, kind of get a picture of why they're interacting, or why they're changing the way they are, or how they're different from each other. So fire would whereas water would be your emotions and stuff like that. Fire would be your feelings. Is what you're putting out, and what you're putting out on that's on that right side of the things that are intangible. And water, how you're receiving things. So cardinal fire. So the essence of your desires. So this is sparking, and this is how you get a lot of Aries that they're not necessarily trendsetters, but they lead the way. That they set the example, that they do things, that they're also rash and naive and stuff like that, because they just spark the idea, the action, the fire, the imagination of doing something, the visualizing it, because fire is seeing. When you light fire, it allows you to see. The sun is burning ball of fire. It allows us to see. That's what fire is. It's sight, allows you to see. And then fixed fixed fire, you're dealing with Leo. So fixed fire would be fire being concentrated, fixed into one area, all concentrated. This is why the sun rules Leo. It's just a giant ball of fire. And that's what it is. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be that concentrated thing. So someone like that is fixated, or constantly thinking about, or all for their feelings and emotions and stuff like that, and the visions that they have. They only can see their visions, or it's really surrounding their life and the things that they entertain. Those are the things that they put into it. But it's able to burn out. The sun's gonna go supernova eventually. A campfire, that's fixed fire, but once the wood's gone, it needs the wood to burn and stuff like that. It needs that concentration. So that would be the fixed fire. Mutable fire, kind of more on that lava type of energy. That malleable. It's being able to mutable fire, mutable being versatile, adaptable, um, flexible and stuff like that. Fire being sight and feeling and action. So you're able to be adaptable on how you see things. So you're able to see things from a lot of perspectives. Yeah, you're able to see how things turn out. Um, and I didn't even describe what how you can relate the water signs. So Cancer would be like what's that harsh wave. Scorpio fixed water would be like ice, fixed water all concentrated into the one part, and that's how it gets a little cold and stuff like that, less moving, staying in that one spot. And Pisces is like out open in the ocean where it's all water, all you can see, that's all you can see. That's how it adapts in water. And then with fire now, um, yeah, you can look at it as Aries is the spark. That's the lighter. That's the first at first going off. Fixed water. The sun. That's when the light is just going. When the flames going there, when the flames being held, when you're able to burn stuff, and then after is maybe the heat remnants that was left, or all the heat that was spread out into the air that was left. How it interacted with everything. The air, the oxygen that was combusted for the flame to even exist. That's how it will work out. And then what's the last element? Air, cardinal air, Libra. So this is the essence of air being communication. So it being the essence, it's sparking communication. This is how why you would see Libras being compromisable or always trying to be relatable and stuff like that, because they're the essence of communication, and the essence of communication is relating with people. If you're not likable, if you're not connecting, if the person's not willing, if both parties aren't willing, then you can't relate. So that's why that's always an essential part, because that's the essence of relating. Two and two communication. So there always has to be another person for that to be there. And then fixed, Aquarius. This would be stuck in your way of thinking, because you're concentrated. So this is having your own individual thoughts. This is why you will see some eccentric Aquarius or Aquarius is that just do things different. Everything, but it's likable, because that they're able to communicate it. They may be all fixed in their own thing, but they're sure about that they're able to communicate it or present it. So Libra would be the that sharp that sharp gust of wind, I guess. Yeah, that push forward wind. The wind that lunges things a little forward. I guess Aquarius is more like being in the air, flying in the air, flying around, um, staying in the air. It's like levitating, It's kind of like futuristic type thing. That's Aquarius, uh, like like you're here, but you have your own ideas on things. So you're kind of set apart. So it's like you're kind of risen, and then you have fucking. I was in making Jesus. Don't get that twisted. But now you have mutable air. So this is versatile, adaptable communication. So that's why Geminis often, it's like the schizophrenic, you know, side. They'll be jumping in a lot of bags because the things that they communicate and think about it are so adaptable and depending on the situation and who they're talking to that you never know um, what you might get, you know, that you never know how it will play out or what you're gonna see, you know. So I guess this would be if Libra's the sharp gust of wind, and Aquarius is more like levitating. Um, I guess Gemini would be uh, what would Gemini be? That's a hard one. I guess you know what? What I would say, I would say Libra is probably like an air sword, like it's sharp. You know, like it's more directed. You know, it's not held into that one spot, but it's more of like a jolt in one direction. So it's like having like an air sword that slaps down, and let's call say Gemini is like that gust of wind. You know, that wind that seeps through the cracks. Or the wind that would do slow erosion on the on large sculptures or the pyramids that would rub the dust against it to wear it down off at times, you know, and that same piece of wind is gonna touch the pyramids, the houses, you know, and all other things it's traveling. It's not indiscriminate, you know. That's kind of more mutable air, you know. That's kind of falls within that category. But yeah, so that's how the modalities change the elements and stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically it for this video.